Hi there, Steve here with another bat rep for you. This time I played against Shae once again, with a little bit of an updated list. I chose to play Gearheart this time, the old Mount Ashmore. So my Gearheart list is Gearheart with Alice and a Suppressor and a Vindicator, 2 Death Archons, 2 Ascendant Mentalists, 2 units of Failed Experiments, 2 units of Assault Troopers, and 1 unit of Combat Alchemists. And the Shae list a little bit different from last time. It's Shae with a Blockader this time. He's got Scallywag, which is his character Jack. He's got a Talon in there as well. And we've got First Mate Hawk and 3 Powder Monkeys. Got a Swamp Gobber River Raider, and attached to that is Malvin and Mayhem. We've got Lord Rockbottom, we've got Stone Cold Black Bella, Master Gunner Dougal McNail, and a minimum unit of Sea Dogs with 2 weapon attachments and Mr. Walls. We've got the Commodore Cannon, and we got Ayana and Holt. So here's what the table looked like. We're on bunkers this time. And I lost the roll off to go first, so my opponent decided to go first. And looking at this table, I chose this side. So on the left-hand side, we've got a cloud, and then going clockwise, we've got a forest in the top zone, then a house and a wall, another forest on the right-hand side. In my zone, there's some rough terrain, and right in the middle of the table, there's forest, and there's 1 water down there on the left-hand side as well, on my side. So I decided to take this side because I've got enough Pathfinder models to be able to get across that rough terrain in my zone, and I've also got taken the Pathfinder objective to help one of my jacks get through there. And other than that, there seems to be lots of space to get my stuff all around the sides. So my opponent set up like this, setting up the Blockader over that side to make sure that he doesn't get caught up on the wall there or the house on that side of the zone. And then the Commodore Cannon in the middle this time, which should help him be able to be more useful during the game. We've got the 2 Light Jacks on the left-hand side. Possibly questionable choice getting Scallywag over there on the left, all the way away from the Sea Dogs, because I think he gets a little bonus. He has a gang fighter or something with the Sea Dog Pirates. And then Shae relatively close into the middle. Then the Sea Dogs over on the right-hand side with a bunch of solos accompanying them, and Malvin and Mayhem over on the right-hand side. So I set up like this. I got the Vindicator and Gearheart and one of the Death Archons in the centre. Death Archon's not especially bothered about the left-hand side of the table, so I've skewed over onto the right-hand side. That's where more living models are in my opponent's army. The right-hand side, I've got a Death Archon as well, who's going to be hopefully using that forest on the right-hand side to his advantage. Might have been a little mistake of mine not keeping my left-hand Death Archon a bit further to the left, because it would have been a bit easier for him to score the left-hand flag potentially. Then we've got the Ascendant Mentalists and 1 unit of Failed Experiments and Assault Troopers on the left, and exactly the same on the right. Now I know that his list is pretty fast, so what I'm expecting is for him to run up using coup de main, run up, get quite far up the board, and then for me to only move forward a little bit and try and cover myself from his shooting while staying outside of his charges. So let's see what happened. So as predicted, the first turn looks like this. And the Blockader's gone up quite a long way. I think he can get something like a 14-inch run. No, 12-inch run, because coup de main gives you a +2 movement. So 12-inch run for the Blockader, which is still pretty decent. And then the 2 Light Jacks can both run 14, so they're threatening quite far already. Luckily, no significant shooting for them. Commodore Cannon doesn't benefit from coup de main because it doesn't activate, and coup de main is a normal movement bonus. So unfortunately, that has real problems getting up the board. And on the right-hand side, just got all the Sea Dogs laid out. A very tempting target for my Combat Alchemist there. And so on my turn, the board looks like this. So yeah, literally, as I said, sending up the Assault Troopers, who I'm expecting to do most of the work in this game. The Assault Troopers are going up outside of the threat range of the Blockader, and then on the left-hand side, and then screening with the Failed Experiments. So I put a couple of Failed Experiments in the potential charge range, charge lane of the Blockader. And then I used a couple of experiments to try and tie up the lights on that side as well, so he couldn't necessarily use the lights to clear the charge lane for the Blockader. Then the Assault Troopers are waiting to be able to take advantage of the blockader coming up a little bit. Then Death Archons are both hanging back because the speed of Shae's army is so ridiculous and they're priority targets, so they're hanging back all the way back here. I believe the blockader was out of range for my Vindicator, so he just walked up. Gearheart came up and put sniper on the Combat Alchemists, and they chucked a few grenades over towards Malvin and Mayhem, but I was actually pretty unlucky with some of my rolls. And in the end, I think I just killed a couple of pirates. I brought up my suppressor, thinking that screening him with the Combat Alchemist and one failed experiment might be pretty useful. I think I underestimated what all of those solos could do to clear out charge lanes for Malvin and Mayhem. So that's duly noted next time I meet them. So I didn't really need my suppressor to be up that far, especially as he's quite useful with his rust sprays against the constructs that are in this army. On the right hand side, I tried to tempt out some charges from those sea dogs with one of my failed experiments. The other ones are hanging back, and yeah, my assault troopers on the right hand side also being very careful because I think Malvin and Mayhem could probably make quite short work of them, so hanging back with those as well. There's not really any scenario pressure as I'm the second player, so there's not really a super need to commit, but what I am trying to do is tempt out him to waste his alpha, killing not enough things, and then my counterpunch will hopefully be pretty good. So here's what he did on his second turn. As you can see on the left hand side, yep, the blockader did some pretty decent work on the failed experiments, used his sprays, used the powder monkey to do a couple of powder monkeys to do ancillary attack to take out another failed experiment, and yeah, otherwise managed to kill 3 out of 5 of the failed experiments. The leader was actually pretty lucky. I think he missed him a couple of times and he passed the tough check. Okay, or maybe not. He missed him a couple of times and yeah, wasn't able to finish off the leader. Same story on the right hand side. 3 of the failed experiments went down. I think Black Bella came in and took out one of them. Oh, he also managed to get Kiss of Lilith on that unit as well and made him a bit easier to kill. And then Black Bella being out of the way meant Malvin and Mayhem was able to charge the suppressor and managed to take it down. I was kind of disappointed about that because I was hoping to use the suppressor to rust the blockader, and that would have been really easy to take it, well, relatively easy to take him out after that. But that didn't happen that way, so a bit more work than I was hoping for to take out the blockader on the following turn. And then, yeah, the Sea Dogs on the right-hand side managed to, as I said, to take out 2 more of the failed experiments, and that was pretty much about it. My next turn looks like this. So I was able to feat using Gearheart, and the feat allowed me to... he also charged Black Bella, killed her. He also put out Deceleration just in case there's going to be any shooting to worry about on the next turn. And Operations Command I had out every turn this game because it was very helpful for my guys to charge over my other guys. He took out Black Bella, and then the Assault Troopers very easily took out Malvin and Mayhem. I think maybe on the 5th attack they went down. I think I missed one attack maybe. But the feat makes that really very easy to do, even after he managed to put up his armor to 20. Then the feat token went on to the blockader, which, as I said before, was a little bit trickier to take down. The Vindicator charged with a boundless charge from Gearheart, managed to charge in and do about half the boxes, I think, including the prey bonus from the feat. And then I was also managed to charge in one more assault trooper on that side on the left, and one of the other assault troopers charged the scallywag. I believe one of my failed experiments was also able to charge the blockader, and that was the one that I think he rolled pretty well, and that was the one that took out the blockader in the end. So the first half was pretty easy with my heavy, but the second half was a bit more of a challenge because I couldn't get my guys. They were a little bit too far away. Those assault troopers are a little bit slow with their 10-inch threat range, and I could only get one of them onto the blockader. But in the end, I took him down. I think that was the key to cracking this matchup, and probably meant the beginning of the end of the game. Over on the right-hand side, failed experiments killed lots of pirates. Death Archon went in and killed loads of pirates as well. Just left the 2 weapons attachments over there. Other than that, everyone else is dead. And so let's see how my opponent retaliated. Yep, very limited retaliation. I really took out a lot of the power of his list. The Scallywag had his Cortex damaged. The Talon was outside of control range at the beginning of the turn. I think the Commodore Cannon maybe missed his attack, and there was generally not very much happening over on the right hand side. Looks like one more of my failed experiments went down, but apart from that, it's really looks like I'm cracking the attrition here. So yeah, it's pretty much the beginning of the end of the game. I think I also scored 2 points up until this point, maybe. Let's have a look at the final turn. So the final turn, all of my stuff was able to get more charges, do more killing. So yeah, that Shae list, it really needs to deal a crippling blow on its feet turn with the huge threat ranges, and it was definitely possible to do against my army, but it's also possible for me to jam up his stuff, maybe give some tempting targets that actually aren't that important, and then once the attrition starts in earnest, then things start dying. Unfortunately, the survivability of that Shae list isn't that good. And so at the end of this turn, I left him with something like 3 models on the table. Yeah, one of the Powder Monkeys, Dougal McNeil, and Shae is all that's left. And I think I'm scoring something like, I think I'm going up to 5 points, and he was on 2 points, something like that. So we called it at that point. It really wasn't worth playing any further because there wasn't an awful lot left he could do to stop me winning on points on his turn. Anyway, it was still a really fun game. It's still a very new player. I think this was only his 3rd full points game ever, maybe his 3rd game ever, I'm not sure. So he's done really well, and I'm looking forward to playing against him very soon in the future. See you on the next one. Bye.